with just 10 days to Armageddon after Raw set up its main event last Monday. The SmackDown title match was set to be determined tonight with a four-way elimination match booked for the main event. As with Lesnar still out of the picture with rib and knee injuries, the brand was about to put on a new headliner with Angle, Benoit, Edge and Eddie challenging Show for the title in a TV match that set up massive expectations, perhaps more than any combination for the pay-per-view title match, opening with Rey Mysterio against the returning Albert in a match that made headlines in and out of the company, with Mysterio, who by the time the SmackDown broadcast aired on Thursday already underwent knee surgery with him written off for a month, taken out by Albert in a decision that was reportedly made by Vince McMahon on the day of the show in an attempt to elevate Albert in his first show back as a potential future opponent to the returning Taker in a program targeted for early next year, reportedly stirring things up behind the scenes with McMahon changing the original plan of Matt Hardy taking out Rey, followed by starting a program with Edge to set up a pay-per-view match between them, with Hardy after seeing his biggest singles push to date being scrapped on short notice, hinting at the disappointment in a website article a day later saying that he would have liked to work against both Edge and Mysterio. Seeing SmackDown with the Rey-Albert match along with the follow-up injury Angle and Noble vs. Crash, followed by a Chris Benoit interview talking about his career journey on the way to the title to hype the #1 contender match, opening big with over 5.5 million viewers and the second biggest audience to watch the first half hour in over 6 months. After several weeks hyping his arrival with him getting a second career win in the latest season of Tough Enough as one of the trainers on the show, DeMott debuted to go over Funaki in a quick match with an attempt to potentially set him up as a singles player for the first time since being part of the Invasion angle last year, including Taz on commentary taking shots at Morris' previous WCW gimmicks. After the strong opening, viewership continuing to pick up throughout the hour, with Eddie hyping both Guerreros potentially winning singles titles in addition to the tag belts, with Eddie in the four-way main event and Chavo challenging Kidman for the cruiserweight title, followed by the top promo segment of the night seeing Lesnar and Show again placed in the 8:45 p.m. quarter, with a Lesnar interview via satellite from Minnesota being interrupted by Show and Heyman in the ring in Dallas, Texas, continuing the suspension angle with Brock banned from the building to set up the main announcement from the segment, with Brock saying that he will be at Armageddon in person to watch the Big Show title match, all but hyping a Lesnar interference with Brock while still not cleared to work full matches, going back on the road over the weekend in quick matches against Show to headline the SmackDown house shows, ending mostly with brawls involving the majority of the roster to work around his injuries, with the Lesnar-Big Show confrontation again delivering in the same time slot to peak the night already in the first hour with over 6.1 million viewers. SmackDown maintained the majority of the audience to start the second hour, with Kidman vs. Chavo going 8 minutes, followed by a Cena vs. Rikishi rap challenge, averaging 5.8 million viewers for the next half hour from 9 p.m., with the show on the night coming a day after perhaps the most talked about segment of the year not taking place on WWE television, as with two of the biggest rivals in history in Hogan and Piper both on a media tour to go head-to-head in a third industry after wrestling and movies, with both promoting their new book released at almost the exact same time, while Hogan is off television with him and McMahon still not resolving their latest dispute following Hogan turning down his planned Survivor Series match, with talks between them set for the next several weeks. In an unexpected scenario, Piper was the one who made his wrestling TV return first, with him debuting on last night's TNA pay-per-view in his first major TV appearance in 3 years. And if the goal was to create major buzz inside the hardcore audience to promote the book, the Piper segment accomplished it, with him going off in a shoot promo confrontation against Vince Russo in a segment hidden from everyone involved in the company's production until minutes before Piper went to the ring. Seeing Piper after the surprise appearance in the company cutting a heated promo on Russo's vision and views on the industry before dropping the bomb to blame him for Owen Hart's death as the WWF head writer in 1999, leading to Russo, who was not notified on Piper being there in advance, going to the ring unannounced in a face-to-face shoot exchange with Russo, who wasn't given the microphone by Piper during the impromptu segment, returning to the ring later in the show to accuse Piper on using Owen's name to sell books. making the Piper vs. Russo exchange a major talking point in the business, with hopes in the company of it translating to increased pay-per-view buys for the follow-up over the next several weeks, even with Piper currently not scheduled for any involvement in the product going forward, with SmackDown next seeing Edge making his entrance for the main event with over 30 minutes left in the show to set up an injury angle, with Albert taking out his knee in the spot that was originally rumored to be booked for Matt Hardy, playing off Edge's legit knee issues, with JR announcing that he is being taken out of 2 weeks of house shows to let it heal and potentially avoid any lengthy time off television, after the 4 entrances kicking off the match at 9:33 p.m. set to go over the entire final half hour to close the show. Angle led Edge and Benoit went 23 minutes of TV time through 2 commercial breaks to expectedly put on a top pay-per-view quality match that anything on the Armageddon card would most likely struggle to match, seeing Eddie and Benoit with plans for a pay-per-view singles match between them being eliminated back-to-back inside the first 7 minutes to leave Edge vs. Angle for the final sequence in the majority of the match. Seeing the broadcast, which in recent weeks started to develop a Raw-like viewing pattern of peaking midway through and sliding from there instead of the constant growth usually happening for the SmackDown brand, again peaking before 9 p.m. with the final half hour featuring the 4-way main event not matching the top performance in the ring to average 5.5 million viewers, while at least picking up throughout with the final quarter for the conclusion of the match in the show closing Tori and Dawn hotel room skit ending at over 5.7 million viewers, with both hours of the show averaging identical numbers at the 3.4 rating with over 5.6 million viewers range, ending up with Angle going over to set up Show vs. Angle in the brand's title match, with SmackDown after the Thanksgiving hit on a holiday night rebounding strong with over 1 million viewers gained from last Thursday.